All right, guys, going to go over reconciliation. This one's a bit messy, deliberately, of course, to kind of show you how to fix things. So first, you're going to pull up your bank statement, and we're going to be looking for two things, which is the beginning balance and the ending balance, as well as actually three things, the end date, which in this case for Bank of America is going to be 12/31. And what we're going to see here, so once you're in the back end of QuickBooks, you're going to go to Banking, Reconcile, and we're going to choose the account, which is going to be right here, Bank of America. And as you'll see, the last statement date was on 11/30, and we're going to be reconciling to the next month, which is December 31st. And again, going into your beginning balance is $591.25, and the ending is going to be $17,974.29. And if there's a little delay here, it's because I have my accounting computer over here on the right hand side of my office. Actually controls the accounting aspect of things, and I'm going in through my Apple computer, which is where I like to have all my split screens. So once you have that set up, the statement date 12/31, just going to double check it. Beginning balance $591.25, ending balance $17,942.29. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit continue, and we're going to kind of see where we're at in the reconciliation process. So last night, real quickly, over here are your checks, over here are your deposits. So let's see if we can squeeze this in to kind of figure out where we're at. So with regards to Bank of America, they actually have it reversed. It's actually, we're going to do deposits first on the right-hand side, and then we're going to flip it over, and then I'm going to make this easier. You can do one of two things. You can actually print this up. It's kind of an old school thing to do with your bank account, or you can just do it on split screens, which is what I like to do. So we actually have a couple transactions that appear to be missing, and in order to make a reconciliation work, you have to equal out to zero. So right now it looks like we have our wire transfer for $30, Bank of America wire transfer. You have $1,500 deposit, 15, 114. And the 14,000. What we're missing right now is two different transactions, which appear to be. It looks like I threw $1,000 in here for equity, and this one's going to be a little trickier. We're going to actually reverse some other charges. This is kind of funny, actually. I wrote checks down here. I forget which one it was. It's Wawa, but I wrote two checks so that I could get my. Where the heck is it? Here it is. $20.98, $35.35, and that equals the $56.33. And actually, they gave me, I think, $300 or something to use the bill pay. So I wrote myself two checks down here, and then I literally just reimbursed myself. So first thing we're going to do, since this is a little bit messy, and this is a good thing because this helps you kind of fix things and solve a problem. Obviously, if you have hundreds of transactions in here, it's going to be exponentially more complicated and difficult to find the problem, but with this small statement this month, it's going to give you a real-life example. But the first thing we need to do is input this $1,000. So we're going to go ahead and go to deposits. Excuse me, I'm a little sick today. Banking, and then we're going to go to make deposits. And always make sure to use the right date. Some people get sloppy with accounting, and trust me, it just becomes an absolute nightmare. Later on, when you're months or years down the road, it's going to become a lot difficult. So that's the account I like to hit. We have an equity account, which is essentially just me at this point. I'm the only one really putting money into this company. And this is going to be a contribution. I always like to write notes here as well. It helps you out down the line. And probably not necessarily right, 1226, but I just felt like doing that. Check numbers unnecessary, payments unnecessary, and it's going to be $1,000 to deposits, right? Oops. Okay, so you have your first transaction in there. And then we have a little bit of a trickier one. I got to think about this. I'm going to put it on pause real quick and show you how I'm going to hit this account, because I want to be able to, actually I could book that to overhead and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. That is what I'm going to do. So I have a transaction here. This is the one I was talking about for $56. Typically when I'm building a job, I want to always job cost things. So I will always put allocate the cost to a specific job so that later down the road we know exactly where the money is, and for budgetary purposes we can run job cost accounting, right? So there's the $1,000 general deposit, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and write a check. Excuse me, this is a deposit, and I'm going to hit make a deposit, and it's going to be received from, again, this is Matt Gray, and we're going to hit the account. I'm going to reverse this charge. So inevitably it's going to be a $0 charge, and I'm going to go financing and land carrying expense, and then I'm going to, this is definitely where you want to write a note, because when you have an accountant in here, they're not going to know what the heck is going on. This is MG writing check to company to offset reimburse from BOA. So really I'm writing a check to myself since I just wrote a check. So this is going to be $56.33. And I apologize to keep moving this thing, but I guess this little recording device down here in the lower right requires that. So at that point, we've pretty much put in all of our deposits, right? We have our 30, 1,500, 114, 14,000, 1,000, and 56 spot 33. So we're looking good over there, and then we have to figure out what the heck we're missing on the other side of the equation. So so far, flip this over here. On our withdrawals, we wrote a check to Wawa for gas, $23.32, $9.99, $6. Looking good there. And it looks like we're definitely missing other ones. We got $36.51 Cricket Wireless for a telephone. And then it looks like we're missing 1, 2, 3 more. So what we're going to have to do, because these are withdrawals, we're going to act like we're writing checks to those people and get it up to speed. So we're going to write a check, and this is for Wawa. And this is going to be for $39. And it automatically populates to indirect expenses, cars, gas. The reason why I like to do that, I like to allocate expenses again. Indirect expenses, I'll show you real quickly, not to get all squirrely on you, but home building is within the 5,000 series of our chart of accounts. Every single time I hit an expense in here, I want to allocate that to a specific job. So when I'm running a job cost analysis, I know, for example, let's just say I have a budget for drawings, $5,000. I write checks for $3,000. That means we still have $2,000 left over. So we have an indirect cost category down here for cars and expenses. So this is going to be general overhead expenses outside of home building exercises. So then those costs are going to be allocated to overhead, and then we can say, okay, we did $1 million in sales. This is hypothetical. We did $1 million in sales. We spent $50,000 on indirect costs. Our overhead is $50,000, right, per year, or 5%, which is going to be important later down the line when I explain to you how to get into more detail with regards to doing budgets and that sort of thing. So this is just MG filling up tank. And right now, because it's an indirect cost, we're not going to allocate it to a job. And this stupid little thing on the lower right is being a pain in the butt. So 39, we have a GoDaddy expense. And I honestly don't even know if we have an account set up for this. So let's just see what I got. And oh, website hosting. So that's good. I've already set this up. If I didn't have something in there, we would go to list, chart of accounts. We would go ahead and add a new account. And because this is associated with, this is actually a hosting fee for our website. So that really is not applicable to it's not even close. It's not applicable to a job at all. It's an indirect expense / overhead. And I might actually change that to overhead expenses and make it a little bit more easy. But there you go. In here, it's called website hosting. Every month, we're going to hit the account, $9.99, and that is going to be our web hosting fee. And this is, what is this? December. There is a big lag on TeamViewer. So this is going to be December web hosting. And we are not going to hit a job again. And then I got one more expense of UPS, which is funny. Only funny because I'm making a video. And quick ad. Oh, let's do that again real quick. People might not know that. So when you have a vendor list, because you want to run a vendor list, we might want to see, for example, what's our account receivable, what's account payable, whatever it is. You need to set up your accounts, or excuse me, your vendors. So for this one, you're going to do UPS. It's going to say, oh, never heard of this guy. You're going to do a quick ad. They're going to be a vendor, and the total charge is $3.92. And now we're going to go look at an account, because this is actually the mailing cost to do. Where is it? Sorry, I'm doing too many things at one time. It's the mailing cost to buy a GoPro. I have no idea what account I'm going to hit. I really don't want to make an account for $3.92 right now. Gosh. Okay, this is kind of probably a bad habit, but I'm just going to book it to web hosting for now. And this is actually going to be GoPro. And don't do this if you're going to use the account a lot, but we're not going to waste time creating accounts for $3 when we're going to do a couple $1 million in sales. Like, it's just a complete waste of time. It might be a better idea, just kind of thinking out loud here, to create an account called miscellaneous or something like that. But I'm not going to create an account for GoPro mailing expenses. I mean, that's just a waste of everybody's time and energy. All right, and then going back to this, so we're looking good. We have all of our withdrawals / checks into the system, and then we have two more for these two, and that's, again, the one that we're going to zero out. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the exact same account. One side we're hitting debit, the other side hitting credit. When you're done with the deposits and the checks, it's going to be $56.33. Your net is going to be nothing. There's not going to be anything there. So pay to the order of, I actually did this for Erica. Don't worry about who she is, but pay EF to start bank account. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this real quick. That's the TeamViewer thinks that I'm over there. Paying EF to start bank account. Can't remember if I hit the account. I think I did. Shoot. Should have hit the job. Gotta think about this, because I believe on the deposit I didn't hit the right account, because deposits you can't do job codes, you have to do general journal entries. I'm actually going to change this indirect expenses in a second. Let me write this down so I can show you guys. I apologize about my nose. So indirect, I'm going to show you how to fix this, because it's really overhead. That's really what it is. And I'm going to book this to, actually, you know what? I really don't want to do this, but okay. I'm going to create an account. Should I call it miscellaneous? I really don't know.